So, we are headlining the conversation once again about the newest Detroit Red Wings signing, Jakub Rychlovsky, out of Bilić in the Czech League. Now, we already made 2 videos talking about, firstly, the rumors linking this guy to Detroit, and then we talked about how he actually signed with Detroit. Great how that works, right? But either way, when it comes to the 22-year-old scorer, 5'10", 181, left-handed left-wing guy, signed to the Wings till the end of 2026 on a 2-way ELC, we did have ourselves an interview done by Rychlovsky as to how he's feeling about the Detroit Red Wings acquisition. I'll leave a link in the description to this website here, isport.blesk.cz. It includes a video interview. It's 28 minutes long with Rychlovsky himself. It looks like a Q&A. Is that how it is? I mean, I don't understand Czech, so I unfortunately was not able to get any value out of watching this video, but the article is a written text format as well, but there is a paywall, so you're not able to read the entire thing if you're not subscribed to isport.cz. Either way, this link is going to be in the description if anybody wants to go out there and try to translate some of it. I mean, there's a lot here. I mean, this is already a lot, but if you wanted to say that there's even more content behind the paywall, then yeah, I'd assume this is a pretty in-depth interview. Rychlovsky, Detroit, Nemezu Mime. Okay, I'm not going to try to read that for you here. But when it comes to the isport.cz article, we did have ourselves an English version, as Bob Duff 2 days ago went out there and transcribed some of these comments and put it on this Detroit Hockey Now article. So big shout out over to Bob Duff. I mean, Detroit Hockey Now probably does have a subscription to isport.cz, which is maybe how these comments were able to be translated, but I'll leave links in the description to both the Czech website and the English website, because Rychlovsky does indeed go out there and talk about his move to the Detroit Red Wings. So, let's go out there and dissect some of these comments over here. My dream has come true. I'll do everything for a spot in the NHL, Rychlovsky told Bilić website. As a UFA, Rychlovsky signed a 2-year, 2-way ELC with the Red Wings that could pay him as much as $1.74 million. At the same time, he is admitting that these latest developments in his life and hockey career do seem somewhat surreal. If someone had told me this a year ago, I probably wouldn't have believed them, Rychlovsky said. Now, the thing is, I actually don't see where there's an error there either. I mean, I kind of believe him too, because last year, as we had talked about, Rychlovsky wasn't really that hot of a prospect. 17 points, 52 games played, 5 goals, 12 assists. He went from this to that in the span of 1 year. From 17 points to 46 points, from 5 goals to first in the league in goals with 26. He was just all over the place. He was so good. He can snipe it. He could put in dirty rebounds. He could be the cleanup crew garbage man in front. And doing all of this at 5'10", 181, and 22 years old, certainly a unique kind of skill set there for Rychlovsky. So the fact that he was able to adjust and grow his game so much in the span of 1 year, it is very exciting, which is why, I mean, look, he said it. If someone told him at the end of last season where he had 17 points, yeah, you're going to be on the Red Wings in 2024, 2025, you're going to sign a contract with them, he wouldn't have believed it. We wouldn't have believed it. If Steve Yzerman made this signing last year, we all would have called him nuts. And because he was able to wait a while, actually see this guy exhibit good development, he had more goals this season than he has points in any other year, which is awesome. Now it's like, okay, this is a great signing. This is some good value here. If he's an AHL guy, then okay, he's only 22. He can still grow. He can still become better. If he's an NHL guy, then that is even better, because he can actually provide good value in the middle to bottom 6 as a UFA. Let's go back over to the article and talk about more of these Rychlovsky comments. In the last 365 days, so many things have happened around me that my life has been turned upside down. Alright, he's going all Fresh Prince style. Last year, I would have not have expected my career to take off in such a literal rocket way. I certainly appreciate it a lot. I'll do my best to move forward in hockey. Move forward indeed, man. If you can see that this is the progression he had from 1 year to the next, just imagine how many gosh darn points he could have had if he had stayed in the Czech League for 24-25. Obviously, he's not going to get this amount of points and this amount of goals and be the #1 goal guy in the NHL or the AHL next year, but just taking a look at the steps, the magnitude as to how he has improved from year in to year out. This is a pretty exciting story, and Rychlovsky himself seems to be very excited, the most out of us, actually. It was the Wings who won the race to capture his name on an NHL contract, and Rychlovsky could not be more delighted. In my opinion, every boy who plays hockey should aim to sign a contract in the NHL. Whether you are 5 or 28 years old, you should dream of entering the best league in the world. So, there's a pretty good comment. I had my head set like that. I tried to do everything every day to get at least closer to that goal. Fortunately, I succeeded. The next stage of life, a new part of my career, is coming. There are a lot of new things and challenges ahead of me, but I'm really looking forward to it, and I can promise that I'll give it my best. So, what I'm gathering from this interview, he doesn't really say much about Detroit in particular, or maybe he does, it's just behind a paywall here. Maybe there's an entire other part of this near 30-minute interview that we didn't read about, but either way, Rychlovsky has a good head on his shoulders. He seems to be very much in the right place mentally when it comes to being a Red Wing and being a new NHL player. That seems to be the focus that we had talked mostly about, that there is a good amount of joy here for Rychlovsky to be included in this roster, especially considering where he was last year, and ultimately, if the Wings are able to get as much value as some of these free agent logs are saying that Rychlovsky could bring, then that could be a pretty good deal here. Left wing, left-handed shot, 5'10", 181. Attribute ratings, he's a 4.5 out of 9 for skating, so a pretty mid-skater according to Elite Prospects Ringside. 6 out of 9 for shooting, which is great. 4 out of 9 for passing, which is below average. 4.5 out of 9 puck handler, so about average there. Above average hockey sense, 5.5, and then a below average physical game at 4.0. So Rychlovsky certainly does have himself more growth to exhibit here, especially if he puts on some weight. I'm not saying he should get taller, that's not really within his control, but 5'10", 181, if he wants to continue being that crease crasher guy right in the front of the net, putting the dirty rebounds in, then he's gonna have to get a little bit heavier, I'd say. I mean, Zach Hyman plays a similar role, and he does that kind of stuff, and he's like a tank. He is an absolute athlete, and he is immovable. So there are certain developments I feel that Rychlovsky would need to go through if he wants to maximize the same kind of scoring profile that he had in Czechia in the NHL this year, but of course, even if he's not in the NHL, if he just stays in the AHL, there still will be some good development and growth to happen here. Steve Yzerman has been patient with these Czech dudes in the past. We had talked about how Dominik Kubalik was literally a Red Wing in prior years. So the next one, the next top free agent out of Czechia to sign an ELC in Rychlovsky, Steve Yzerman got first dibs, and we will see how his development goes, because he himself seems very grateful and like the most excited person of all in this situation. So, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about Jakub Rychlovsky and the comments that he had made. If anybody wants to go out there and translate the article that we have that's behind a paywall and that has a video interview, then hey, feel free to do that. This Bob Duff article is great, but I feel like there's a lot more that we haven't seen yet because of the language barrier. Actually, let's try to do that here. Okay, yeah. NHL dream, sign in the NHL in the last 365 days. Oh, these are the same comments that... Yeah, okay, these are the same comments that were included in the article in the English version. So maybe Detroit Hockey Now does not have a subscription to iSport.cz either, so... Yeah, unfortunately, that seems to be the case here. There's a lot more that we did not see. So, yeah, I'm not saying I want anybody's subscription for iSport.cz, but it would be interesting to see more of the comments from this guy. Either way, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about Jakub Rychlovsky, the newest Detroit Red Wing. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.